Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We did have a cancellation for the motion. Next item on the board is Stansfield. Planning for this kind of so Becky will present the report and help you with enough to abstract the report. And open the public. Probably going to want to do this application. So we're going to take this form.
You're fine. Yeah.
It's a zoning bylaw amendment for a property at 220 Tamarack Road. The applicant is proposing to sever 3 new lots from the property, and the zoning bylaw amendment is required to reduce the minimum frontage for those lots. The proposed lots are going to be approximately 0.42 hectares or 4,200 square meters, which is about an acre. And the proposed frontage is going to be approximately 31.91 meters on Walter Sharman Drive. The zoning bylaw requires a minimum frontage of 35 meters. So I'll quickly go over the policies that are applicable in, there we go. That are applicable in this proposal. The applicant completed an environmental impact study, an archaeological assessment, and a lot grading plan to support this application. So the county official plan designates the property as rural, recreational, and hazard. The designation identifies areas that are typically within close proximity to recreational amenities like the waterfront or shoreline, and where development has already occurred or smaller communities exist. We see this designation along a lot of our waterfront properties and in our little bays and smaller communities. It identifies areas that are close to the water where we're seeing a lot of development, but we don't necessarily have services available. It's not a settlement area, but it is where we want to focus development in sort of a smaller scale. So the county official plan outlines the goals and objectives for this designation, and it says specifically that this area is for the development of four-season tourism industry, continual improvement of tourism-related facilities, and the provision of land for new residential growth opportunities. And then it also goes on to say that these types of development need to be reviewed for their environmental impacts, and then also for archaeological and that sort of thing. So that was all done for this proposal. The proposed new lots contribute to the goals of the county official plan. The minimum lot size, or the lots meet the minimum lot size requirements of the county official plan. And again, this proposed lot configuration is sort of in line with existing development. It's infilling essentially of this area. So the property has both natural heritage and natural hazard features. Again, an EIS was completed to support this development. The EIS looked at significant woodlands and significant, provincially significant wetland, which is along the bay there. And required setback was created for these lots. The EIS supported this 3-lot development and defined development envelopes for each of these 3 lots with required setbacks to those features. The zoning bylaw amendment is going to recognize the developable lot area and then also zone a portion of the property as unable to be developed. There's also environmental hazard area that is also, of course, unable to be developed. An archaeological assessment was completed for the entire property and there was no items of cultural heritage value or interest identified on the site. And then the property is zoned R2 resort residential. The R2 zone requires the same lot provisions as the R1 zone, except that it specifies that waterfront development may have a minimum lot size of 3,000 square meters. Again, the proposed lot sizes are going to be 4,200 square meters with the retained parcel at 8,200 square meters. So the lot sizes are meeting that as the zoning bylaw requirements. The zoning bylaw does require a minimum lot frontage of 35 meters, and this proposal is seeking a lot frontage of 31.9 meters. The lot grading plan identified building envelope parcels and identified areas and supported that smaller reduction of the frontage by identifying areas where well and septic could be located, where setbacks are still going to be met. And then the proposed zoning bylaw amendment will recognize the reduced frontage. It's going to zone the development envelopes that are indicated on the EIS. And then the areas outside of the development envelopes will be zoned to prohibit development. The environmental hazard zone is proposed to be amended to restrict the construction of decks, docks, and boathouses. The EIS noted that a single 1 meter wide path to the water was permitted, but permissions were not included for any other development. So decks, docks, and boathouses will not be permitted because this is a provincially significant wetland. The province also does not permit development within PSWs. And then my recommendation is approval for the zoning bylaw amendment. The mitigation measures outlined in the EIS are proposed to be included in a development agreement, which will be registered on title and required as a condition of the consents. And the mitigation measures are outlined in my report there. I'm happy to take any questions, and the applicant is also here for any questions.
All right, thank you, Megan. I do have a comment with regards to the mitigation measures. And we ran into this. This is the second time that I've seen this. It's on page 35 of the report. And the number 4, it says no machinery shall be left on site. All machinery shall be removed from the site daily. And that is pretty impractical thing to include in it's just adding cost. And as I said, I've seen it once before, and I don't hardly understand the rationale of it, because vehicles are parked there all the time, and the same thing could happen with vehicles as well. So maybe if you can explain to me how that, why?
Yeah, so those requirements are part of the MECP, the Ministry of Environment, Conservation and Parks requirements to protect the Massasauga rattlesnake. So the Massasauga is a species of concern. The municipality doesn't necessarily require it's not the municipality that has to enforce those. It's the MECP that has to enforce that. And these requirements come from them. So the ecologist is not necessarily the ones who are putting this in place. It's the MECP that says, like, if you include these, then we don't have to go through this whole other thing to protect the Massasauga, essentially. Does that make sense?
What does it mean if you don't include this?
I would have to check with the ecologist, but if we didn't include that, and I'm not sure, like, if we could just like not include one specific condition, or if we didn't, if all of it, like, I would have to check with the ecologist on that. But basically,
That's a big job. Moving the machine in and out.
So this, I'm not gonna turn this on because
it is a common requirement we see, especially up here with the rattlesnake population. And whenever we do see these assessments done, it is a pretty common requirement on these development agreements. Because like oil and stuff can contaminate the site, and then also if like the snakes go on to the machinery when into.
like we
At some point, you have to kind of question some of these things. I mean, that's our job. And so I would like an answer to it before we pass the bylaw next at some later date. So
Yeah, I think you guys would pass the bylaw at the next council meeting, which is September 14th, I believe.
Yeah.
So I should be able to reach out to the ecologist and get a little more information on that before that meeting, and I can provide that to you guys.
yes, okay, Todd.
Maybe something to add to that, Megan, would be if they do feel that it has to be moved, maybe a temporary fence could be put around. Like if it's just one piece of equipment, it would be easy to put some sort of a temporary fence around it versus pulling it off site all the time as well, if that would be appease them.
Yeah, it's a good point. Yeah. All right. So it is a public meeting. We will, if does any other councillors have a comment? It is a public meeting. We will open the meeting up to the public. And if there's anyone here present that wants to speak to the application, this is your opportunity. Also, we'll look online to see if anyone is online to speak to the application. You sure can. Yep.
I appreciate it.
Could you come up here, sir, please? Yeah, there's a microphone.
Yeah, just state your name, surgeon.
My name is Serge Marcella.
There you go, yeah.
I'm the applicant. I wasn't going to speak to it, but after hearing your comments on it, you're bang on the money. So this whole application took approximately 2.5 years to complete. And that's one of numerous restrictions that was put on this little parcel that I couldn't even begin to have imagined. You know, what happens, I think, sometimes is it's like a microscope on just that little piece of property, as if it's some sort of special snake habitat, when the reality of it is it's on a corner with 2 bordering roads. Well, I'm not sure why I can't park a vehicle on the property, but yet 5 feet away, the municipality actually created a parking lot there for people to go fishing on the causeway. I can't create a deck or a dock, and I'm restricted to only allowing people to walk 75 meters of that property because of potential impact they may have. But yet there's a roadway right there on a causeway. And every winter, we know what happens around here. That snow gets plowed and it dumps sand and salt right into that special water. But yet I can't allow a residential property with a small family to go down and maybe enjoy the waterfront because of the restrictions. So my reasons for agreeing to all those restrictions, because after the environmental impact was completed and we had reviewed it, the county hired somebody to do a review and they came back, and those were the alternatives we had, was to have more studies done and have yet another third party review those conditions. And it just went on and on and on. It's just like, okay, let's just accept the ones that we've agreed to initially, and so we can move on. So that was end of my
We're
comments.
supposed to be reducing red tape, but it's not happening.
It's not happening.
No.
Very well done.
Megan, was this peer reviewed?
It wasn't peer reviewed. So right now the county has a natural heritage planner who has experience in EIS review. So if he's off currently, but when he comes back, if he has the capacity and the availability and it's like within his scope, we do the internal peer review. So it is less money, less time. But yeah, the larger developments are sometimes reviewed by the peer reviewers, but this one was not.
Okay.
Keep trying, because the red tape and the cost is very restrictive. We're limiting development in this area.
Is there anyone on the online, Callie, that's there is?
If there's anyone online who wishes to speak, could you please raise your hand? Seeing none.
All right, if there's no members of the public present and there's none online, we will close the public meeting. So we have a mover and seconder, and the recommendation is to approve the zoning bylaw amendment. So if there's no further questions, we will call the vote. All in favor? Opposed? The motion carried. All right, we'll go to delegations, and this delegation has been removed from the agenda. Next, we have the coordinator for the Tobermory and Northern British Peninsula Chamber of Commerce, and it is the MAT Strategic Plan. Welcome, Brian.
Charlene was supposed to be here, but she's off sick, so I'm flying solo here. I won't go over the whole plan because it's huge, and it's just a refinement of what we presented last fall. Some of the highlights from this, so we struck up a subcommittee from the board of directors to create this. It took us about 6 months to put together. So we revamped what we currently had. some of the highlights we came back with was we're going to create a MAT committee every year. So it's going to contain up to seven members. 4 of them going to be board of directors. 5 can be board of directors, chamber members, anybody interested in being on this committee. It's good. So what we created this to get approved so we can move forward with the applications, which is one of the stipulations we had in the agreement with the municipality was we had to create an application for people to apply for funds. We figured that we found the MAT plan we previously had didn't quite match up. So we've included that in there, the stipulations. We actually created some guidelines and applications and stuff like that out of this agreement. The other thing we did is we made it a bigger process to change this document. So it's going to take 3 different board meetings. The first one will be a proposal that there's something in the document that needed to be changed. The second one will go through a board for a vote, and then the third will be changed. That way we can't have a new board in October or November say we don't like this and rewrite it. We have to go through this whole process again. So those are really the big highlights in this. This was more just to get that application process going. So once we can get this approved, we can get the applications out and different people can apply for MAT funds for projects.
All right, Brian, council have any questions? Yeah, Smokey.
I don't have much, glad going through it as I did to see, you know, a lot of your focus are things that we tried to focus on over the years, and that was the, you know, looking at spring, fall, and trying to bring that forward and minimize, you know, we all know in the summer what happens, but it looks like this document's going to, you know, put some money where we really need it in trying to extend the season and extend, you know, the focus of tourism so that, and good luck with that, but I was really happy to see that in this document that it's doing what we hope, at least when we talked about that tax, hoping this money would be, going to.
All right, thank you, Smokey. Any further comments? So Peggy, where are we heading here?
There is a report, 2612, that council receives the strategic plan. As already stated, is it included in the agreement? So this is just merely a formality.
All right. Thank you then, Brian. Appreciate the presentation. Thank you. Next, Sheri, Tobin and Dave Flook. Proposed partnership with Ontario 360 Tours. And they are online. Hi, Sheri. Dave? Hi, Sheri? Yes?
Oh, yes. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Yeah,
Okay.
go ahead.
Just waiting for Dave to get online here. Dave, are you here? Dave? Sorry, if you don't mind, we'll just give him 1 second to join up. I'm not sure. We're having a bit of trouble hearing some of the council members, so maybe that's part of the issue.
Yes.
No, I just want to, this has no connection with chamber presentation?
Oh,
Okay,
no.
I just wanted to know that before, because
No.
I know the chamber is kind of looking at things, so I wanted to make sure that it's a separate. thing.
Yep, yeah. Maybe we'll direct them to the chamber.
I'm just going to start and then hopefully he'll join me in a second, but so good afternoon, Mr. Mayor and council members. My name is Sheri Tobin, and Dave Flook, my partner, should be joining you in a moment. Together we make up Ontario 360 Tours. Ontario 360 Tours is a multilingual platform that's designed to showcase the best of Ontario and make travel planning easy via immersive narrated 360-degree videos, thereby creating more revenue for local tourism sectors. I trust that you've all had a chance to look over our proposal. We're seeking a partnership with the municipality of Northern Bruce Peninsula and the city of Tobermory to produce a 360-degree video showcasing key locations in Tobermory, with strong emphasis on extending the shoulder season. Our proposal outlines our direct ask, why immersive 360-degree videos are necessary to stay ahead of the game, and the key benefits of this technology that this technology will bring the region. Our inclusive fee does cover the pre-production planning, which includes logistic coordination directly with your team, professional filming, advanced video editing, and professional narration. Permanent hosting on our website and YouTube channel will also happen in perpetuity, and strategic sharing across hundreds of targeted Facebook groups, various other social media outlets, and direct outreach to local real estate agents to showcase the region to prospective buyers, travel agents, just to name a few of the areas that we do share and showcase across other Ontario platforms. We do also reach out to other Canadian platforms as well, bringing in tourism from all sectors in Canada and the US. So at this time, I want to turn it over to Dave, who's going to take you through a little bit of a walkthrough of our website and YouTube channel, just to explain a little bit further how it works and what the videos look like and how they can benefit you. He says his mic and cam isn't working. Can you bear with us for 1 second? He's going to try another computer. If you give him 1 second, he's got that all rigged up. I do apologize for the delay. He is actually not able to join at all, so I'm gonna have to wing it. What I wanted to do was share the screen and have you sort of take you through what the process is. So basically, I'm not going to be able to do that portion. What we do is we find interesting places in Ontario, hidden gems, or places that people have asked us to do a video of, and we will go to that location, speak to, maybe it's a business owner or it's municipality like yourselves. We've done a couple of downtown tours, things like that. And they're just looking for ways to promote their tourism and travel and get more people through the shops and the restaurants, hotels, staying as long as possible. And I do know that seeing some of the information online that Tobermory is also looking to extend their shoulder season. So I think that at this point, it's a good time to have these videos up and running and have someone like us who's passionate about not only Ontario, we're passionate about the 360, we're passionate about the video and tourism in general. We do come up to Tobermory at least once a year. So this is another thing that we're passionate about as well. And then we would produce a video based on some of their, ideas and what they want to portray. So in fact, we would, collaborating with you, we would use the narration to showcase exactly what your mandates are. So we had proposed three key spots in Tobermory, but we're open to ideas to whatever else you would like to have in that video, or it could be a couple of shorter videos showcasing a few other things as well. Whatever your mandate, your brand calls for, and what you're trying to do with your city as well. We work with you in that respect and the narration to cover those key aspects. Once the videos are done, we again host them on our website, on our YouTube channel, and share them around as much as possible. We always have people asking us, you know, can you share that video again? What's a good place to go to in a particular area? Recently, I've just seen 3 people in the last couple of days ask what they could do in between this spot and this spot that they're traveling to. And so that's another key aspect of things that we could offer. So our site really helps with travel planning, getting people excited about where they're going to go and giving them more information before they do go. 360 videos are also a good way for people to see exactly what they're getting themselves into, so to speak, and getting them excited about being in that spot instead of just seeing maybe a few pictures online. It's really an immersive way to be there without being there and get excited about being there. So we are asking, I guess I'll just wrap things up at this point since we weren't able to do the actual presentation, but I know that Tobermory is world renowned for its peak summer beauty, but the opportunity for sustainable growth and extending the momentum is a real thing. And by partnering with Ontario 360 Tours, you're also investing in modern, accessible tools that inspire off-peak travel, that support your local businesses and drive measurable tourism revenue. So you already have our proposal. We're ready to hit the ground running. All we ask is for your go ahead, and we can turn out the logistics of you know, the collaboration and how it's going to work and what exactly you want to see in the video in terms of what we've proposed and what the city is needing to align with their values and core goals. Thank you.
All right, Sheri, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Any council comments, questions on this? Yes, yep.
Well, I think that what we are more than Tobermory as a council. We are Northern Bruce Peninsula.
Yes.
And our local, just so happens, the presentation before yours was from our local Chamber of Commerce, which also involves the whole municipality. So perhaps my thinking would be that your presentation could possibly go to our Chamber of Commerce, and they could take a look at it. They're funded through the MAT and different things like that. So that's just my comment.
Appreciate that.
All right, there's no comments or other comments or questions. We will turn it over to staff, and I'm sure staff will be talking with the chamber. So thank you very much, Sheri. Appreciate it. And
I appreciate it.
we'll be in touch.
Okay, that sounds great. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Have a fabulous day.
You too. That concludes our delegations. We will go to agenda items, office CAO reports, the 6-month performance report, January to June 2026. Mover and seconder to bring that forward. Rod and Amon. Information report. Any questions, comments on the report? Just how many MPFO requests would we have?
I can get that for you 1 second.
Do you mean just for this year, Mr. Mayor?
Yeah, just so far this year.
Yep, absolutely.
And while it's just looking at that too, on page 11, it's 100% critical system uptime. What does that mean? Do you know?
I can answer that, Mr. Mayor. It basically means that we had no lag downtime within our facilities or crucial infrastructure. So essentially everything was running at 100%. We had no time that we had to shut down facilities or operations.
And the other one was too, we at or let's talk. What did it say there about? We had 1,100 and some. So wait. 1146, Let's Talk participation. So is that the total number we had respond in Let's Talk?
So that's the total participation as somebody who had logged on. We did have a very busy first part of the year with the Capit Head road discussions and also the waste management and water management
Okay.
discussions on there. So we did have a very busy first 6 months when it came to resident engagement.
But the 1146, is that the ones that responded or what?
Those are ones that have logged on to the system.
Oh.
And it's a cumulative of those two projects for the water, wastewater and the Capit Head.
Yeah, I thought there would have been more, but that's the number. All right. Anyone else have any, but our social media and webpage are getting lots of activity. Yeah. Mon?
Yeah, I just had a question about the capital projects delivery progress. So target was 85, actual was 28. Is there any sort of reasons behind that, or is that sort of expected schedule? Or
It's really due to the fact that this is from January to June. Because of the winter months, we actually won't have anything started. So those are actually completed projects. So if you based upon the amount of time that we've had good weather for construction, we're actually really ahead of schedule. Unfortunately, the way the KPIs read, numbers are numbers.
All right, anything else, Todd?
One question, and maybe you can answer it, Peggy, is regarding building permits. There was 133 applications and only 116 issued. Those 17, did they just decline to go through with them, or are they just in the queue?
So those are the ones that were deemed incomplete. And so by the time that June had rolled around, they hadn't actually been moved back into the system. So we could actually see after the, come January that these are all complete. One of the big items for the building department is to educate the public on what a complete application looks like to hopefully move those up to 100%.
Thank you.
Peggy, I have found what I was looking for actually, finally. It's on page 10 and it says the Let's Talk platform received 4969 project views and 1146 contributions supporting meaningful public. So the 5,000, like that's the views, that's people that viewed the projects on Let's Talk. Okay. All right. Mama?
sorry, just one more about just the operating budget variance. See, till now the action's 5.31%. Expecting that to stay stable till the end of the year, or are there concerns at all? Higher?
We are assuming it will stay stable. We are actually at an point right now that we've just had another tax due date, so we'll see an influx of finances at that point. We've also, I believe 85 to 87% of our capital projects have been tender RFP'd. So we're also aware that we're in pretty good shape regarding the future. Correct, yeah.
All right, anything else? If not, it's the information report, call a vote, all in favor. Opposed, the motion's carried. CAO, this is the presentation that we had. And I guess this is what I'm wondering, like he was talking about adopting this report. And this is for information, so I'm just wondering.
So based upon the agreement, council has to receive the MAT report. This essentially is the chamber's strategic plan for how they intend to move forward with the MAT tax.
Yes.
And based upon when we originally moved forward with the municipal accommodation tax, it was council's decision to make this almost as a hands-off. So, here's your 2%, provides a strategic plan, and we'll move forward that way. And then we wouldn't have to do any micromanaging. So according to the agreement, we do receive for information, and essentially they will adopt it on their side.
All right, so mover and seconder to bring this, Smokey and Todd. So when we look at this, do we look at to see whether it complies with legislation or what we anticipate it should?
Yeah, so in the agreement that we provided to the chamber, there was a request for this funding to be for tourism based, but also for events and to become seed money for various businesses and initiatives, and that's what this has helped out with.
So just to clarify, so this is hands off for us.
We do have one member of council that is a representative for the municipality on the chamber, and they do attend on a monthly basis. But yes, this is a hands off type of.
But we did request this, right?
A strategic plan was part of the agreement.
Yeah.
For council to see how they would actually invest or use the MAT tax. But we have actually included within the agreement also that what the intent was on the municipal side when it came to seed money for events, potential tourism initiatives, and that's what this has brought forward on.
Okay. Anybody have anything else to add? Nobody? Call the vote. All in favor? Motion carried. Procedure bylaw, clerk's department. The council directs staff to bring forward an updated bylaw to govern the proceedings of council and committee meetings of the corporation of the county of Bruce. Todd? Rod? Any questions on procedure bylaw? Alex, do you want to give us any comments on this one?
Sure. Thank you, Mr. Mayor. So just an update to the procedural bylaw here. So we've just added a lot more detail to certain sections. Specifically, you'll see that the meeting section is a lot more emboldened for different scenarios in terms of inclement weather and with regards to virtual participation and virtual meetings. So the report does sort of go over the sections that have been sort of added to. A couple of small changes to the agenda format as well. But other than that, we're just looking at a little bit more detail for this updated procedural bylaw, and I'm happy to answer any questions.
All right. Go ahead, Smokey. Yeah, go.
Well, I just have a question. It says, something to do with Lucky Binder here, persons with the council, within the council horseshoe. That just means the council itself? Okay.
Yeah.
Just to have, I just had to clear that horseshoe thing. Thank you.
Totally fair.
Yes.
Yeah, and on page 23 and 24, it lists all the motions, and we will probably need Alex's assistance on. They've always been, but they are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely, Mr. Mayor. I'm always happy to help.
Any further questions? So it's good to have an updated bylaw, and appreciate the work that you've gone into this one. So thank you. Yeah, sorry.
Just explain why we've decided to sort of prohibit the public and media from recording meetings. So we're recording them anyways. I mean, I don't see why it'd be an issue for someone else to record too.
Yeah, that's a totally fair question. And we actually had a little bit of a discussion about that. So the reasoning behind it is because we do live stream the meeting. So there is a recording that's publicly available. And the recordings are managed by the clerk's department as a record of the corporation. So we want to be able to manage that and make sure that there's no issues with, when we're in and out of a closed meeting or something like that. We have a little bit more, we're monitoring what we're recording, and they are available to the public. So.
Just don't see why, like if someone like from the media was here, why would we restrict them from just recording if they only want to record, a particular portion of discussion? I just don't see why that would be an issue.
Like for somebody to sit in on a meeting and record with their cell phone. I think it's more managing that, and because it is available already through what we do with our live streaming. I think if council wanted us to allow people to come in and record, we could, if that's what the discussion is. We just thought it might be a little bit better to manage that.
So just on that note, what is the usual procedure?
For meeting recordings?
Yes.
So our deputy clerk gets set up with our different systems. So we have a couple of different platforms that we use. And the meeting is live streamed in real time through Boxcast.
Yeah. But other municipalities, how do they handle it? Say if someone wants to sit in the crowd and record.
So if our procedural bylaw prohibits it and we saw somebody in the crowd recording the meeting, then the chair of the meeting would say, sorry, we don't allow that. Yeah. And then if it became an issue where they continued to record, we could ask them to leave.
But in other municipalities, is that a standard? Is that a standard thing in their zoning bylaw?
From what I was looking at, it varies. So a lot of the bylaws that I was looking at, it varies across municipalities. So I wouldn't say there's a gold standard. Same thing with live streaming meetings. Not all municipalities actually live stream and record.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Further? No?
I'm just not sure how I feel about sort of restricting
What page is that
in a
on?
public meeting. I just have my notes here, but I find exactly. Yeah, so it's page 10 of the report.
Page 10.
Yeah.
So let me see here. Okay. So if council would like, what we could look at is allowing it. And if it becomes inappropriate, we could maybe manage it. Like if it becomes a distraction. But we could change that if that's what council would like us to do. Our current procedural bylaw doesn't address this, I don't think.
So, what number is that?
So it's 5.55 at the bottom of page 10.
Oh. So I have 5.54 at the bottom of page 10. 5.55, okay. Oh. Okay. Okay.
Mhm.
All right, whatever.
I tend to agree with Amon in that we're open, we're the public. If anybody will probably says things they shouldn't, it would be me. But I mean, we're open to the public. I have no problem with people recording the meeting or whatever. It's just the way it's written here. It kind of looks like we're editing or something. I don't know. Anyway, I don't think it's necessary.
City feeling, majority count.
I don't have a problem with it. I think this maybe harkens back to the day of the big lights and the guy with, right? When that would be obnoxious, but nowadays it's all done on cell phones. It's not a problem.
It may be being done anyway, I guess, while people are here, so. All right, if it's the general feeling of council, it sounds like it is. That we will remove that.
I will change that and it'll be in the, would council like to see another version of it before passing it at the next meeting, or we can change it and go ahead? Okay,
We just changed it.
okay,
Go ahead.
that's great. No problem.
So how do you want the motion to read?
Well, it sounded like Councillor Sorab moved an amendment to the motion to amend section 5.55 to permit recording. So if we had a seconder, that's great. And then a vote on the amendment.
On the amendment. And Alex has kind of given us the wording, so all in favor?
Perfect.
And then we'll go back to the original motion as amended.
Mhm.
Call the
Thank you.
vote, all in favor. Opposed, the motion is carried. All right, next is item B, Clerk's Department is concerns at Hobson's Harbor Drive, and we heard last meeting about this. So the council receives the report, C-2624, concerns at Hobson's Harbor Drive for information. Mover and seconder. Rod, come on. Any questions, comments on this, Todd?
I just have a comment, and I spoke to Chief Bird about this earlier. I just feel that we need to be, maybe part of our response is that we have to be more proactive with FireSmart, the FireSmart program. I was looking into it on the weekend, and maybe that could be part of our response to Joe is maybe, I know we are doing it, but maybe we need to step it up with the way everything is changing, how dry the peninsula is. I think we have to be a lot more proactive and promote it even more than what we already are.
Give Jack an opportunity, our fire chief an opportunity.
Yes, thank you, Councillor. The FireSmart program is a great program, and we've been promoting this for a few years here in Northern Bruce Peninsula. And we continue to promote it. And I agree with you. I think it can be promoted more and get the message out. There's great opportunities for homeowners with apps like the FireSmart Begins at Home app, where they can go and do a self-assessment of their home. The firesmartcanada.ca website has a tremendous amount of resources, and it's something that will continue to push for fire prevention here on the peninsula.
That's smoking.
I'm not gonna turn my machine on.
Cause it does this, so.
At any rate, we have, is there any way that we can influence some of the larger landowners? We have federal parks, we have a lot of property on the Bruce Peninsula under conservation that, to the best of my knowledge, so we're asking private landowners to look after their property, probably a lot smaller, when we have
It's a good comment, Councillor. A lot of those areas, we don't have jurisdiction, whether it's provincial land or federal land from the municipal fire department. We try to work with our partners to ensure that they are being fire smart, but it is difficult on a lot of those lands. The FireSmart program is really designed for the homeowner in mind, right? So it's the ambers that typically cause the fires that we've all seen on the news in large urban wildland urban interface areas, where the embers can travel literally kilometers ahead of fires and land in areas and start those areas on fire. So this program's more about protecting individual properties and communities as opposed to those larger federal, provincial, and nature reserves. But those are conversations that my team continues to have to make sure that we can protect the peninsula from a forest fire.
Well, yes, because you can't turn on the TV and we're seeing fires in places that never had them before, like there isn't. I don't think there's any roadmap that anybody could ever predict. So I guess we're just sitting here with no impact on this, or do you see any way forward that we as a municipality could have an impact on some of these policies that, are in our area?
It's a good question. I think continuing the lines of communication with our partners and trying to find solutions that can help protect the broader community from wildfire is something we need to continue to do.
For sure, vulnerable. Okay, thank you, Jack. I understand their limitations.
All right, so maybe we can, Todd suggested maybe that could be a response that we give Joe. All right, and so we'll call the vote. So do you want that recorded or just direction?
I think so. Council would like to give direction on this. Sorry.
Well, yes. Well, that was the, I guess, is there kind of a general consensus before we go down that road or? Yeah.
Okay. I think the motion is okay as is, and we're happy to, we've been regularly speaking with Mr. Roach, so
Okay.
We're happy to relay that information to him.
Call the vote. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Public Works. Item A, Public Works. And this is a project on Judges Creek and it's farm crossing. It's been looked at by the engineer and the whole ball of wax, so. And approve. Proceed with the project. So we'll get a mover and seconder on this one here. Todd and Rod. Pardon me?
The drainage superintendent.
Okay, Stephen. Is it Steve?
Yep.
Steve? Yeah. All right, so if there's any questions, we have the drainage superintendent online, Steve Tobin. Welcome, Steve.
Thank you.
So just give us a brief update just give us a brief overview of this, Steve.
Sure. Thank you very much. So this is a minor improvement request for a new farm crossing on Mr. Waggle's property. Through the Drainage Act, there's now what's called a minor improvement request. So that's mostly minor projects such as this. So when a property owner requires a new, in this case, a new culvert, we can go through a faster process through the Drainage Act to incorporate that culvert into the municipal drain. The one caveat is the property owner pays for the installation of the culvert himself and as well as any costs that are incurred to incorporate this into the municipal drain. So again, Mr. Waggles requested a new farm crossing is primarily due to accessing the other side of his property, which he was always accessing it through another property, which that agreement came to an end. So he requested a new culvert on branch E of the Judges Creek municipal drain. So Cobite Engineering was appointed in the fall of 2025. We've reviewed their request, met with Mr. Waggle on site. we've gone through all the appropriate agencies, review agencies. Number one is the Department of Fisheries and Oceans. They've reviewed it. They've submitted a letter of advice to us that we can proceed with the work. That we did design the culvert, check the capacity. Now, Mr. Waggle is supplying the pipe himself and will be doing the work probably on his own, which we can oversee. And I think he's ready to go. So this is the last little item on our the minor improvement drain request to approve the report that we prepared in support of it. And if it gets approved by council, Mr. Waggle can proceed with the work after, I believe it's a 10-day appeals period, which Mr. Waggle can appeal this. Or if not, after 10 days, we can go ahead with the work. So again, I believe Mr. Waggle will be wanting to do it himself. And if he does that, then these projects are or can qualify for MAFRA grants, but if he does it on his own, then he won't be entitled to that 1/3 grant. But again, since he's supplying a majority of the materials, I don't think that'll be a problem for him. So that concludes my report.
Thank you, Steve. So the engineering costs associated with this, who pays for that?
Mr. Waggle.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. So, but Steve, you mentioned a 1/3, like the 1/3
Yes.
grant. So so are we entitled to that, or who's entitled to that?
If we went, just like any other project we do, well, MAFRA does have grants for work for properties that qualify for the farm tax credit, in which Mr. Waggle's property does. And so in this case, if we did go through the municipality's procurement policy, so we just tendered this work out and it came back. And that's really the one stipulation through a MAFRA's grant program, that it just satisfies the municipality's procurement policy. So since Mr. Waggle wants to do the work himself, we'll be not going through that process, so it won't qualify for this 1/3 grant. So
Okay.
again, he's supplying the pipe himself, which is the biggest cost. So
Yeah.
I think he'll want to opt for that option.
Yep. All right. Any further questions on that one? Thank you, Steve.
Thank you.
And so we have a mover and seconder on the report, so we'll call a vote. All in favor? Motion carried. Building department, and this is lifting a holding zone by Josh Lyons and Jada Milhausen at 590 Lot 53, Municipality of Northern West Peninsula, be approved. Mover and seconder for that. Amon and Rod. Any questions on this one? Call a vote. All in favor? Opposed? The motion carried. And this is the further to that, to the report above, and it's no demand for service agreement on the same lot. Mover and seconder for that. Smokey and Todd. Call a vote. All in favor? Opposed? The motion carried. Item C, tent and trailer exemption explanation. And council receives this report. Mover and seconder for that one. Todd and Rod. Emily's not here. Any comments, Peggy, on this?
No, this is actually in response to the delegation request that was canceled today.
Yeah. All right. Any further questions, comments? Call a vote. All in favor? Opposed? The motion carried. Fire department. And the council waives section 5.2 informal quotation purchases 30,000 to 60,000 of bylaw 2023-38 purchasing policy. And the council authorized the fire chief to enter into an agreement with the Air Technology for $48,094 and 0 cents plus HST for the Lions Head Fire Hall and $40,641, 0 cents plus HST for the Tobermory Fire Hall. Mover and seconder for that one. Rod, Todd. Jack, just the question, is this proven? Are there other places have this or?
Yes, there is. There's a number of other departments in Grey and Bruce County that have used similar units. I've gone and had a look at them, and it does meet the requirements outlined in the Ministry of Labor, Immigration, Training and Skills Development's occupational cancer prevention checklist. And it's considerably cheaper than the drops, the GNC that hook up to tailpipes. And this is an Ontario made solution. I haven't been able to find another one that would match it. There was one in California, but didn't meet the specifications that we were looking for with this model.
Right, Rod.
Just give me a brief sort of visual detail or what's it look like? How's it work? Yeah.
I'll do my best to draw you a picture here.
Draw me a picture. Use your 1,000 words.
Yeah, so instead of individual runs that we typically see that would track with a vehicle coming out of the fire hall, this would be like an air handling unit that is not on a roof, but actually in the fire hall itself in the ceiling level. Sucks all the air in, all the contaminants, and has a filtration system that captures the diesel exhaust and harmful chemicals associated with it, and then provides clean air as a turnover in order to meet the requirements for the diesel exhaust restriction.
So there is some sort of monitor, CO monitor, or something that associated with that.
Yeah, there's a CO monitor, HCN, that type of stuff associated with it as well.
So just on that, until it gets to the ceiling,
excuse me,
it's in the building, right?
Yes, but it creates such a flow that it draws it all up in very quickly. So as soon as the vehicle starts, it's going to draw it up in, and then it's constantly running in the background where it's drawing that particulate in. So it's not capturing it right at the exhaust pipe per se, but it is removing it at extremely fast pace in order to meet the requirements. So there's no diesel exhaust left within the building.
Yeah, my only comment was I didn't want to be the first one with this system.
But that's why I went and had a look at some of the other departments that had it to make sure that it would meet our needs and work well for us.
Yeah, smoky.
Oh, well, anything, I mean, these people are, protecting us, but, and probably already know this, but have we looked at any kind of funding? Because it seems like we're a pretty small municipality, and the amount that it's costing our taxpayers directly to provide, what is mandated, not only mandated, but that's for firefighters. So nobody is providing any type of funding to offset our costs on this.
Not directly associated with this project, but the provincial government has come out with this. It's the third year now of the Ontario Firefighter Protection Grant that deals with some cancer-related materials. So we've bought washers and dryers, extractors, coveralls, stuff of that nature to help reduce some of the exposure, some of the other things that we're seeing in this cancer prevention checklist, but not so much this larger infrastructure capital project piece.
So it has limits, which doesn't include it. That's too bad. Thank you.
Okay. Further comments? Call a vote. All in favor? Opposed? Motion carried. Next we go to committee minutes, Drainage Committee and Grey Bruce OPP Detachment Board. Any comments, questions on any of those? Rod?
Just one. I think we did get a letter about this too, and it was to do with that the angled ditch from the Bruce Peninsula Biosphere thing. We just have a brief, Mr. Rogers noticed that he canoed a good portion, blah, blah, blah. If you get any sort of talk about that, Todd, or?
Steve, or is Steve aware of it, Rod, or John more so?
Steve would be, John. Steve and John would be. I know the Angle Ditch is in South Bruce Peninsula.
Yeah. I think that was the concern, that it was gonna put more water into the Judge's Creek, yeah, than the handle, yeah.
In theory, it's coming in anyway because that's where the spring is. From what I understand, Troy could probably answer that as well.
Yeah, thank you, Councillor Dodd. Yes, it is. It's the same amount of water going. So what the project was not rerouting, putting the stream back to the same place that it was originally. So the water still come out into the same area, except this time now they're putting it back to where it originally was instead of diverting it and bringing it back in. So it's the same amount of flow. It's just concentrating in the one area upstream of where the letter come in for a response of concern for that. So it's this, the quantity of water is still the same. It's just bringing it back to the original flow.
All right. If there's no further questions on those two, we'll go to correspondence. Anything on those information? Other business? Anyone have other business? Right, Todd?
Just to add to what we talked about earlier, since we have Chief Burt in the room, do we want to direct the fire department to come up with measures to be more proactive with the Fire Smart program? We talked about it today, but I don't know necessarily that we did any direction regarding that.
What would that mean, Jack?
I think it depends on how far council would like to take a program like this. Whether it's boots on the ground, going out in the community and actually assessing properties, or continuing with public education and pushing the message out there with current staffing levels to maintain our public education levels, but probably looking at increasing the amount of information we're putting out. So I think it would depend on different options and what that would look like.
Like,
yeah, that's more the lines that I was thinking of, public education more than boots on the ground.
Yeah. So we do that now, but we can do.
We do. We'll attempt to do more and include more Fire Smart education materials with our public education.
Okay. Any other business? If not, we'll go to bylaws. And bylaw 2026-61 is a bylaw to appoint citizens to the Bruce County Joint Compliance Audit Committee for the 2026-30 term of council. And bylaw 2026-62 is a bylaw to delegate certain powers and duties during a lame duck period in 2026. And 2026-63 is a bylaw to lift a holding zone on Plan 590 Lot 53, 133 Eagle Road within the municipality of Northern Bruce Peninsula. And number 26-64 is a confirmatory bylaw. Recommendation is that the list of bylaws be given a first, second, and third reading and finally passed. Moved by Todd, second by Rod. Any questions on the bylaws? Call a vote, all in favor. Opposed, the motion carried. Motion to adjourn. Smoke and come on. All in favor. Motion carried. Thank you, everyone. Council is adjourned